Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to share with you guys something that I've always struggled with, and it's only very recently, after speaking to a few people, that I realised that I think it must be down to my neurodivergence. You know, I think it's definitely something to do with my ADHD and my autism. So I'm going to share that with you today, and I hope you guys can relate or learn something from this video. But first, remember to hit me a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will forever be grateful. So let's get on to the video. So growing up, I always struggled to make emotional connections with younger people or people my age. So I always struggled to emotionally connect to them, like maintain and make friendships, long-lasting friendships, relationships. I really struggled to, you know, establish that emotional connection, and obviously that can come across like many different things. And in my experience, it came across that I wasn't either interested, or that, you know, I wasn't a very nice person, or that I wasn't connected to my emotions, I wasn't empathetic. A lot of people just misunderstood that, and it really, you know, looking back now, it's just like that was what was going on. I just had a really hard time connecting emotionally to people, and like being able to connect with them on the level that people want me to. And yeah, I just want to share a few examples and just share a little bit of my life with you, because I feel like it's important to talk about this, because it's only very recently that I made that connection. And I don't know whether or not there's loads of research out there, but I do definitely think it's something to do with my ADHD and my autism. So yeah, looking back on like my teenage years and my like kind of like, I don't know, just younger years, let's just go younger years, I can see that I was so like, I desired emotional connections with people, but I just struggled with it. So like, I desired friendships, but I couldn't make long-lasting, maintaining friendships was difficult. I couldn't do it for many different reasons, and I think the majority of the reason why was because I couldn't connect emotionally to them, because I always felt emotionally immature. I always, you know, I didn't know what love felt like. I didn't know, you know, I felt love for my friends, not for boyfriends. And people at my age were moving on in life, like, you know, started to get boyfriends, girlfriends, and I was just like, I just want friends. It made me feel like I'm broken, I was a bad person, and I know people around me probably felt like I was not empathetic. I wasn't in touch with my emotions, or that, you know, wow, thanks, you know, thanks for showing a lot of emotion, like you care about me. Like I just struggled a lot, and yeah, yeah, it's this difficult subject, because I don't know any like, you know, official connections as in with ADHD and autism. I can't tell you anything official because I don't really know if there's a lot of research, but I definitely think it's something to do with my ADHD and my autism. So a lot of the time, my behaviour at school and at home was seen as like attention seeking, and people were like, oh, she's just attention seeking, if you ignore it, she'll stop doing it. And it was never attention seeking. Honestly, like, a lot of my behaviours were because I was trying my hardest to connect, to, you know, understand and process and empathise and like just connect with people, and I couldn't. I didn't know how to verbalise my you know, my feelings. I didn't know how to express them correctly, and a lot of my emotions were just out of whack, and I really struggled with that. And I feel like now I know that I'm autistic and that I have ADHD, I can put it all together and think like that's what I was struggling with all along. At school, I needed to always have that mummy figure. Like, I always needed to see and be with a teacher that I knew was like a mum to me at school. I always needed to feel that motherly like vibe off of someone. Otherwise, like, I always gravitated towards the older person, because I needed to feel like I was being nurtured, and like I had someone that was going to look after me and that I could go to. Otherwise, things just hit the fan. And even now, you know, I always gravitate towards people who are older than me, because it's my comfort blanket. Like, I feel like I'm going to be looked after. I know that I can trust these people if I feel like I need to, like they're going to look after me. And I feel like that's just because I've always felt alone, and I've always been afraid of rejection. I've always been afraid that I don't fit in, that the only people that have ever accepted me and loved me are the people like my mum, my dad, my nan, my granddad, my sister, my aunts. You know, they're the only people that have ever made me feel welcome and loved. So like, I always looked for that parent mummy figure, in teachers, specifically mum figures, like female teachers, authority figures. I needed that to feel secure and safe, and that was when my mask in social situations and at like school would slip, because I felt comfortable. And sometimes I got a little bit too comfortable, and then I lost that professional connection. You know, that person's a teacher, she's not actually my mum. You know, I would think that we're friends, that, you know, I would take that connection too far, because that's just, you know, I just connected to that emotion because I desperately needed to feel that motherly figure. And it was almost like, you're my mum at school and I have a real mum at home, but I need a mum at school because otherwise I ain't gonna cope. Like, there is no way Molly is coping without a mum here to be like her, to be her comfort, because nah. So yeah, I just kind of, after speaking with a few people and like, you know, just speaking with my mum and stuff, it really just came to me that has been a huge thing all my life, is gravitating towards like a mummy figure, because that's where I get my most emotional connections with, is my mum. And I know my mum feels me on that emotional connection that nobody else will ever understand. And I automatically think that, like, when I'm in places, I gravitate towards the mummy figure because I feel safe, and I find the next best thing to my mum. And like, wherever I am, I will always gravitate towards someone who's older and who has a bit of like authority or something, and I will just gravitate towards them because it's I feel safe, and I feel like I can be myself and I can be understood and I feel comfortable. It's a hard thing to explain, but just after thinking about it, I just think, because I've really struggled with connecting with other people all throughout my life, my one main consistent emotional connection has been my mum, and I think that's my safe place. So like, wherever I go, I try to connect with somebody in a mum way, you know, like vibing off someone who's a mum. I feel, oh, they'll understand, they'll be a nice person. As an ADHDer and as an autistic ADHDer, I sometimes put myself in really like not safe kind of environments, because it's just like I feel, and I trust people too quickly when really I shouldn't trust people that quick. And just because they've got a child, it doesn't mean they're going to like me and they're going to be able to help me and make me feel safe. Like, no, I've had to learn that not everyone is like that, and I have learned over time that connection isn't always a positive connection to have. And I've learned to just trust myself and get to know people and stop trying to like get that mummy figure, because as I've gotten older, obviously I've learnt my own coping mechanisms, my own strategies of coping, so I don't always look for that person, but I do feel myself gravitating towards older people because it's just that comfort of like, oh, you're not gonna judge me, you're not gonna reject me, you're not gonna want to be my friend, you're gonna want to like help me, and like my mum would help me. I don't know if this video makes sense or if any of you are going to be able to like understand or relate, but that's generally how I feel a lot of the time. And like I say, after just thinking about it, I just thought I want to make a video to see if you guys, my other fellow neurodivergents, I want to see if you guys understand. Like, maybe it's just me, maybe it's a Molly thing, but yeah, a lot of my behaviour was just mistaken for attention seeking, but I was just trying my hardest to fit in. I was masking, you know, I was trying my hardest to not stand out, but by doing that I was standing out. It's a crazy world we live in, isn't it, where we feel like we have to be somebody else to be accepted. And like, I always gravitated towards that mummy figure, like I said, because I just wanted to feel safe, because I knew that I couldn't feel safe unless I knew somebody had my back, because I'm just used to things going wrong and people being horrible and rejecting me, that I just prepare myself for the worst, and I'm going to need someone to help me in this situation. I've been here before and I know how it goes, and I just automatically just need somebody by my side all the time. Some might say needy and clingy, but I just say I just rely on people to help me through situations. And again, I've learned that I've got to be a little bit more independent, but I'm really thankful that my mum is like, you know, great with me. But I have found myself in situations in workplaces like that I've gravitated towards people that I thought were going to be nice because they're like mums, they've got kids, and they've turned out to be really horrible people. But yeah, let me know down below if you have this thing where you just need constant emotional like connections with people, or like you gravitate towards one type of person because your parent, your partner, you know, your brother, your sister has this personality that makes you feel safe, so when you're in situations you gravitate naturally towards the person most like your comfort person. Let me know down below. So yeah, I'm still here, I'm still working, but behind the scenes I'm working. You can't always see my work, if that makes sense. yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back really soon. When it starts to cool down, I'm going to be bashing out these videos because I have so many great ideas. I just can't do it in this heat. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.